you know, I'm telling you about it because it's funny.
Not in like a rude way, but because he
Yeah,
had
no,
a
it's-
male
What the fuck
friend
is that
with
supposed to mean?
People said if you went to sleep with like an electric fan, like a.
So Dan turned off his fan right before this, which got me looking up at my ceiling fan, which is wobbling a lot. And
Well, you got one of them wobble fans.
I got one of them wobble fans, and let me tell you about this is some childhood memory shit. I hope you're ready for it. When I was a kid, we had a fan in the living room, and it wobbled when it ran. This was new to all of us. All of us were used to stationary fans, like a normal fan.
I was gonna say ones that worked appropriately. Yeah,
ones that one might say are mounted correctly, because a good fan shouldn't wobble if it's mounted the right way. However, a lot of fans are made to wobble.
They're made with wobbling in mind. They're made expecting to wobble.
No. Some of them actually have like joint setups so that it does wiggle, so you don't have to worry about mounting it the right way. It is built to wobble.
That's super interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, neither did we. Is the problem. So every time the fan was on and it would go wobble, 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 my dad would be like, "Turn that fan down. I don't want it wobbling and falling off the ceiling." So I thought ceiling fans wobbling was a bad thing for a goodly portion of my life.
This is new information for me. Like
I think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
If the bolts are loose, like, are they wobbling because they're supposed to wobble, or are they wobbling because like a screw is loose?
I thought I learned that ceiling fans just be wobbling sometimes.
No,
and that's like a thing.
I'm not aware of this if it's a thing. Either you're right and Dan and I are also wrong and about to learn the same thing you just learned.
Extraordinarily plausible.
Low possibility. I disagree with Dan completely.
Okay.
I think there is no way I'm wrong about something.
Hey Google, are ceiling fans supposed to wobble?
It just sounds like it's probably like a loose bolt or like.
It's normal for a ceiling fan to have a little bit of wobble, but a lot of wobble can damage the fan and possibly something else in the room. They can also be loud. Fortunately, it's not too difficult to fix.
I don't want this. Why would we talk to the computer?
The answer is sort of.
I mean, a little wiggle is completely acceptable because the fan is gyrating constantly. It needs to have some sort of like shock absorption, and especially in like modern fans. I know a lot of them have like a little hinge, and so they don't bump into the actual like chassis constantly. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like when you turn your car on, it's not supposed to like vibrate and wobble really bad, but like a little bit is normal because it's spinning. I feel like
if you can hear it wobbling, that's probably the.
I think if you can see it wobbling, I think you probably could just tighten up some screws somewhere, and you'd have a good old fan.
That being said, I think there are some like extenuating circumstances. Like my ceiling fan in my living room is on like a 5 because we have those massive ceilings in the living room, Noah. So that ceiling fan is like maybe a 4-foot, 5-foot pole down from the like actual ceiling itself, and like that's gonna wobble. Like you can't, like I don't care how tight your bolts are, that thing gonna wobble a little. Yeah,
but again, that's mounted to like it's probably got like a little shock absorbing kind of system going on up there.
Yeah, you would hope so.
So, are you guys familiar with fan death?
Fan death?
I am. Yes.
No. Okay,
fan death is not. First of all, it's not real. Fan death is it's an urban legend. I'm almost 100% just like a South Korean thing.
Okay.
But like in South Korea, I think younger people don't believe it so much anymore as older generations did. But for like a long time, people said if you went to sleep with like an electric fan, like a oscillating fan, on in your room, you would die, and because it would kill you.
Oh, I have heard of that. Isn't it like what? It like takes the air so you can't breathe or something?
There's like multiple superstitions around it. I think back in like the, I don't know, like 30s when those kind of things were first becoming like a real, people were probably like, it'll blow the air away and you can't breathe in fast enough.
Yeah.
And then I think as time went on, people were like, no, it's the cold that'll get you because you won't wake up from the electric fan. And then I feel like there's probably other like reasons people came up with it. I know there's conspiracies that the government did to make people not use energy. And there's like a whole bunch of.
That's a great conspiracy, though.
That's a really fun conspiracy.
And it makes enough sense. But it also like is not a thing. But to this day, I'm sure you can find a large portion of older Koreans who are like, nah, you can't go to sleep with the fan on, you'll die.
Yeah, I have absolutely heard that more than once.
Yeah, it's called fan death, and it's
Yeah.
just like genuinely like
Like
it's like an urban legend.
it's an urban legend that like you said though is like very prevalent, like to the point of being a proper superstition, I would call it.
Yeah, people are like, no, you just don't do it.
Yeah,
You never do
this isn't like a, oh well, some old people don't do it. No, this is like a, it's not done.
Yeah, young people are much more of like a, yeah, it's not real.
Yeah, of course.
But
Like I would have died by now.
Yeah, exactly. And
Well-
like they probably have tried it. Like you try it once, and
You
you're
try it
like,
once and you
damn,
think you're
that was
fine."
nice.
You do it one time and you're like, damn. All right, I guess death is worth it.
Yeah, that's fan death. Oh, it's got a whole Wikipedia page.
Now I wonder, does that apply only to
Yeah, it's-
fans, or does it apply to central air as well?
It's
Fans,
specifically
just
ceiling
fans.
fans. And I think it's
love
just
that.
ceiling, isn't it? Like I don't think like
No, it's not ceiling. It's the
Okay.
ceiling fans are fine. It's the little like portable ones.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
No, it's the electric portable ones. Those are the killers.
Damn. You learn something new every day.
I do love this. You know, speaking of learning new things, I actually had a Ren Fair story that I forgot to tell you last week, Dan, but it's for the best because I need Jackson to hear this too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I was there also. Just I'm sure
Mhm.
no one mentioned it, but I was at the Ren Fair.
Yeah, Jackson was there. It was a grand old time. It was a very enjoyable experience. When we got there, it started to rain pretty heavy. So we ducked into a booth because Nina's coworker, they know so many people there. So we went in and we were hiding in this like this person does like wood stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Also does like tarot and stuff like that. Because,
Rad.
you know, go figure, that's Rye's circle, you know, witches and witches and witches.
I don't know who this person is, but
Rye is a
but
witch
sure.
for context. So
Thank you.
there's a reason. Anyway, though,
Not to be confused with the Vavitch from the movie out of 2015.
exactly, very different.
Classic.
Maybe
Modern
It would be
horror.
very funny if they were the same thing, to be clear.
No, it's different. 'cause
Rye is
that one
actually the
was,
Vavitch from the Vavitch.
Not from the Vavitch.
The Vavitch, indeed. Anyway, though, so this other couple ends up ducking in with us because it's raining and we are dry and they are not. So they come in,
Mhm.
and it's this skinny, tall kid with long, dirty blonde hair and Viking runes tattooed on his arm. I see him and I'm like, "Who? Red flag boy, red flag boy."
Yep.
Well, let's see how this goes. And then fast forward, they end up being in there for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the booth person says, "Come, look at our tarot deck. Pick a card. You can keep it. I'll even give you a reading."
That's rad.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
It was fun. The girlfriend was too nervous, but she really, really wanted to. So she's like asking her boyfriend, "Hey, you go first. You go first." And she is so into it. She's having a blast here. And he's there, you know?
Yeah, he is also here.
Well, after she draws her card and everyone's having a good time, one of the people points to the guy's shirt and they're like, "So do you know what that symbol on your shirt means?" And I don't know if you're familiar with Nazi symbols.
Unfortunately.
I mean, I've heard of this one
This is
that was like real big.
yeah.
yeah,
So
there's
this is
one or two that I might have heard of.
so you know like the double pointy swastika. That's like I
Yeah.
think it's the rising black sun or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
it's
I don't,
super
but yeah.
popular in like white supremacist pagan communities. It was like I'm talking like 2.5, almost 3 inches wide on the chest of his shirt.
Yikes.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, what is it?" And they're like, "That's a white supremacy symbol." And they're like, if you got it, because he's like, "I just got this shirt off Amazon." They're like, "Hey, don't worry about it. It's a very popular symbol. So a lot of Amazon sellers who don't know what it is slap it on stuff because it sells and no one knows any better." But I'm telling you, this was a nicely embroidered thing. And this man's girlfriend, I feel so bad for her. And I really firmly hope they break up because she said, "Well, fuck, I'm Jewish. That's a problem." And I'm like, "Oh, shit, dude. That's problematic." And then she says, "Now I'm really worried about all the people who have really aggressively said, 'Hey, man, I like your shirt.'"
Oh man.
Which she should be nervous because I didn't know how big the symbol was, but he turned around and it's like fucking huge. It's a big circle, very, very visible. And I'm like, oh yeah, man, you should do something about that. Because I was thinking if it's something small enough, he could just use a seam ripper and get it out of there, you know?
No. This is a throw that whole shirt in the trash.
Yeah, pretty much. But then she's, after a few minutes of talking about it, like, just cover it up with something, like, it, you know, no harm, no foul. She says to him, so you didn't know about that when you got it? And I guess he was getting sick of, like, being talked to about this.
Yeah.
So he said, well, yeah, I did, but you know how stuff like this is. If you don't let the hate symbol have power, then it, you know, it doesn't mean anything. And everyone in the tent was like, well, I mean, yeah, but still, you know, some people don't know, and it, you know, it's better safe than sorry. And they end up going on their way. He tries to compliment my vest, and I'm like, hey, you fight me. If you win, you can take one of my patches and cover up that thing with it. He did not think that was funny. So they end up,
that is extremely funny. Credit where it's due.
Also, that's like I would, like, if someone said that, I would be like, you know what? I don't know that I would, but I'd be like, I'll think about that.
Yeah, I would consider thinking about fighting
at least
you.
as a joke. At least as a joke, you'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it. And maybe seriously, and then I'd have to put my patch where my mouth is, you know?
I that is the unspoken second rule of fighting Noah, is that if you win, he has to place a patch over his mouth. It's a whole thing.
But yeah, you know, this couple ends up leaving, and as soon as they're out of the tent, everyone turns back to each other, and it's like, okay, so firstly, that is not like an appropriated rune, like the Othala rune, for example. It means cleansing and purity. It has obviously been taken over by the white supremacists, but its core meaning doesn't have any connotations.
Any of these shits. What's the Othala rune?
I can't type on my computer because it's an onboard microphone.
It's like a square with a little V on the bottom.
Yeah, it's the Republican National Convention had one as its stage a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
that was great.
There's a rune. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
It's just the letter P, and it's called the Wonjo. Dude, that's funny. Wonjo is pushing P. I'm sorry. That's good. I know half of these from Binding of Isaac though.
Nice. But you know, like, some of those things, they've been taken, and you can try to reclaim them. But the Rising Black Sun, or whatever it's called, I don't care to get it right.
I have it in front of me. It's just called the Black Sun. And
the Black Sun, okay. The
literally
Black Sun
just for Nazis.
Literally,
like,
they made it. It is just theirs. There is nothing to reclaim. Like, it's just problematic.
So I have a question, because I have a thought here specifically regarding this.
Yeah.
Is it problematic to say that it's kind of a rad symbol anyway?
Wait, what's it? What's
like? It looks cool. The Black Sun.
Oh,
I think
I think it should. It just looks like an eyeball of somebody who's got like real, who's like really like popping off.
Like, it's one of those things where I sure do wish it wasn't associated with shitty people, because like that's a rad symbol. I don't know.
I'm not a symbols guy. I'm a little like I'm very wary of symbols.
Yeah.
Like, very rarely do I find one that I'm like, that's cool. Because most of the time I'm like, no one's making a symbol nowadays. It's just like, oh, just made a symbol, everybody. It's always like, just made a symbol. It means I hate. And you're like, okay, well, can't we just like make a little fun shape now and again?
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever happened to just like making a good old like symbol and being like, oh, it's silly, it's fun, we're having a good time. It's always like, oh, now you're part of this thing. If you just want to have a nice little design.
Was that ever like, weren't symbols almost always created for the purposes of like?
Yeah, of communicating a message and usually affiliation, but they don't have to be.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, you could just make a little thing and be like, it's a symbol. What does it mean? It means it's this, you know?
I feel like it'd be fun to have like almost like a family crest that you've come up with on your own kind of thing.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
It's like but then if everyone made a family crest, it would just be like the episode of Community where they make the flag a butthole.
That is true.
And it would just constantly be like the IRS being like, "Sir, your family crest is just a vagina. You have to have a different one." Or the IRS just being like, "I'm sorry, 12 people have already tried to register this exact butthole shape for their family crest. You cannot do it."
I do love that.
Anyway, I had fun at the Ren Fair too.
I'm glad. Yeah, you missed out on the Nazi boy.
I think I'm definitely more of a hater of the Ren Fair activities.
I
than
literally
Noah
thought
is.
you were about to say, I think I'm much more of a hater of Nazis.
I think percentage-wise, I hate Nazis at least 15% more than Noah.
That seems correct.
And at least
Why does that
30%
seem
more
correct?
than Dan.
Why
There
does
it
that
is,
seem
yeah.
correct?
No. I'll back it. Why not?
At least 45% more than Dan. If we had to rank.
If we had to rank, it's Jackson hates Nazis the most. I don't want to continue the words that I'm saying.
No, I think Noah's problem might, you know.
As
You
a
what?
guy who interacts with a culture that has got some problematic undertones, I do hate him a lot.
That's fair.
Wait, what culture?
Punk culture?
Oh yeah, that's right. There's like all sorts of like Nazis there, huh?
Yeah.
I forget that they
luckily,
also do punk things.
the core community is like, hey, it's on site. So, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the situation with like punk music is it's either like okay, I guess there's three camps. There's the punks who are just actually fascists and
Mhm.
somehow still think they're punk in any way.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's like 80% of the punk, maybe even more than 80% nowadays. I feel like the like anti-fascist punks are way more common nowadays, which is good.
Oh, without a doubt.
And then there's also like the 10-20% of punks who are like, it's not even political, man.
Yeah, those ones are always
And
great.
they're functionally the fascist punks.
Yeah, they're fascist punks light.
They're the enlightened centrists of the punk community.
They're like, but yeah, sure, there's like some skinheads at the show, but they never give me any problems. And you look at them and you're like, yeah, because you're like a 140-pound white dude. You're like their best friend.
You're what they aspire to be.
Actually, fucking hell.
Actually,
On the subject of anti-fascist punks, I really would like to. I feel like a little while ago, Jackson asked, "What's your favorite music to come out in 2020?" or something like that, and
Sure.
I didn't actually get to answer that because I got distracted.
Classic.
But it's the Muslims album "Gentrified Chicken." They have a lot of really great stuff, such as their album "Fuck These Fucking Fascists." Mayo Supreme, self-titled, but it's really good. They're a Muslim queer POC punk band, and that's what all their
Okay.
songs are about.
Rad.
And they're incredibly enjoyable. What is this? It's a 10-song album, and that can't be right. Is this album literally only 20 minutes long? Shit, dude. Yeah, you can't not waste your time listening to this album. It's got great hits such as Call the Cops, Punch a Nazi, Blame It on Muhammad. It's a really, really good album. Blame It on Muhammad is about how all school shootings are a bunch of, like, general sweeping terms, they're a bunch of, like, white neo-Nazis.
I was gonna say angry
And
white
it's
boys.
like, I can't believe Muhammad did this. You know?
Wait, he did it?
Yeah, he himself.
That's so fucked up.
I know. Cancel. Cancel.
We let him get away with it?
But yeah,
Sorry, that was.
yeah, I would
I
recommend
like it.
checking these guys out though if you want some like really like raw aggressive punk music. It's a very good time.
Neat.
Sounds
I
fun.
like that a lot though.
I think like punk is definitely it's a community that is I think not too dissimilar, and hear me out, from like the Ren Fair type community and like that, you know, pagan types or but not necessarily
There
like,
is an overlap.
authentic pagans, but pagan aesthetic enjoyers.
Oh yeah.
Which is like I mean, I'm not gonna judge anybody, but do whatever you want. It doesn't matter either way.
The
But,
Chad
like-
Witch, the virgin pagan aesthetic enjoyer.
Well, I mean, but honestly, half like the witches, and this isn't a bad thing, are like really just like witch aesthetic enjoyers.
Yeah.
They don't genuinely believe it, but they really enjoy it and they have fun with it.
Mhm.
And
Or
that's
even
like
if
totally
they do,
fine.
there's a really wild overlap of Republican witches out there.
What a weird.
True. Those are what we call Stevie Nicks fans.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, they
So
think they're
true.
so different.
They're
My
not like
sisters
other
in
witch
Christ.
girls.
Fleetwood Mac was like the biggest band in their day, and everyone loved them. Rightfully so. They went hard. Rumors is insane, but like, it's not. It doesn't mean you're built different if you listen to like The Chain and you're like, wow, this is so underground.
Hmm.
It was a smash hit. The people loved it.
I really
yeah.
Fleetwood Mac is one of those bands that I would love to get into more because I know I need to close my windows. I have like 3 big open windows and I'm trying to record on a very omnidirectional microphone. I'm sorry, half a sec.
No one will ever get to hear what Noah had to say about Fleetwood Mac.
It's very sad.
I mean, I guess I could say it while I walk, and it's just going to be messy audio for a second.
Yeah,
But,
this is important.
This
People
is
need
the
to know
raw-
now.
Yeah,
we
this
need
is
to
the
know
raw
now.
off the air.
Yeah, listen,
This
it's
is
me
what off the air is.
in
Fuck it,
front of
do
my
it live.
windows. Oh man, I bet you no one ever thought they'd hear that kind of house tour on off the air.
So raw. But tell us about Fleetwood Mac while you're doing that.
I would love to get into Fleetwood Mac a little bit because I know a lot of people who I respect musically who are huge Fleetwood Mac fans. Big Mac heads, if you will.
Big Macs. you can just call 'em.
Fleetsters? Big Macs? There we go. I know a lot of Big Macs. And I
You
don't
know any
know.
grimaces too?
One or two.
What?
Are they the fans of the band pre-Stevie Nicks?
No, that's the purple guy from McDonald's.
I know that. I'm trying to be funny too. Am I not allowed to be funny?
I didn't say you
Noah
weren't allowed.
tries-
It's not my fault you failed.
Noah
My-
tries to build on the bit, and just Jackson's like, no, you clearly did not understand.
Yeah.
You know what? This is Jackson's revenge against me for like missing every softball he's thrown over these last 4 years.
And there's
You know
also
what?
there's always the 5% chance that for a second Noah forgot about the Big Mac joke and thought the band used to be called Grimace at first or something. It's not a high chance, but there was always that chance that Noah had
Just a
just
total
forgotten
brain
about the
fart.
McDonald's row. Yeah, just
We've all
was
been
too
there.
focused on the Fleetwood Mac talk to have acknowledged the McDonald's reference. It didn't work, but there was a chance.
The chance of Noah being a complete fool
It's
is not high, but
wasn't
it's
high.
never zero.
That's it, it's not always high, but that's if I just try 1,000 times, I'll get at least a few hits.
Anyway,
Oh yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I guess the thing I was saying before we got super off topic and onto Fleetwood Mac is Ren Fair type people also have the tendency to be for whatever reason, 15% of them are also I'm a white supremacist,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
and
it's
it's crazy.
it was very frustrating because we were walking around and a lot of the people seemed like cool, weird people. You know,
Yeah.
Rennies and
Like, I-
Carnies have a lot of overlap, and I don't think
Oh.
either of them would admit it. You know,
Sometimes it's a full circle.
sometimes 90% of that circle is overlapping, if not more. You know,
Agreed. I full agree. Because as soon as that fair shut down on a Tuesday, they're rocking wife beaters and they're smoking Pall Malls.
Oh yeah, there's some people that do live there throughout the summer, like people who travel. They got their camper and they just set up on the property.
What a dream.
But no, they're walking around. You definitely got some vibes off of some people. Not enough to actually say, hey, is that person a racist? But also, we did meet Kilt Pirate, and I don't think he's necessarily a white supremacist, but he definitely is not a nice person.
Oh no. And his name is Kilt Pirate. How bad can he be?
That's
said.
his legal name, actually.
It's
That's
his
when he does
legal
the Ren
name.
Fair stuff.
It cause and effect, you guys.
It was
If
really
you-
funny.
If your name is Kilt Pirate, you have to go to the Ren Fair.
Because we showed up, right? Or at this booth, and there's a guy there in a kilt and pirate clothes and everything, and I nudged Jackson. I'm like, see, I would love to have an outfit like that. But it would just take me a little while to put the whole thing together. But I mean, look at that. He's got 3 guns and 2 swords and a knife and a drinking horn. That's sick. I'm going to do that someday. This man did hear me, and he stomps his way on over and tells me that it only took him 2 years to put that outfit together, which I still think is a decently long time. You
It's an
know,
extraordinarily long time.
but he then talks about how impulsive he is by showing me this at least $150 hat that he was wearing, leather hat, full of pins. And he's like, yeah,
Oh no.
the first night I got this, I already poked holes in it. I'm like, what the fuck? It looks good. It's like an aesthetic full piece. It makes sense and it works, right?
Is this why you came out of the fucking Ren Fair deciding that you needed a hat?
No, I had the hat already.
Okay.
This man did not affect my purchasing of a hat. Not
hat
in the
was already
slightest.
There's no impact on hatting. Got it.
The hat exists so far beyond him that you're failing to comprehend it.
Before all was hat.
Yeah.
And after
after
hat
all-
came this man putting pins into his hat. And as soon as we finally got away from him, because I like probably 2 separate times looked at Jackson, I'm like, hey, where did the group go? Do you know where the group went?
Mari and I did walk away from you and him and then like stand at like a 30-foot distance waiting for him to disengage.
Yeah. And then
And
finally,
he just wouldn't.
when I was there alone, I said, well, I gotta run because I think my whole group moved on without me. And then we both walked in the same direction for a few seconds, and luckily he got distracted somewhere, and I saw Jackson and Mari. I'm like, oh, hey, guys, I found you. And we moved on. On the way home, Rye was like, oh, yeah, I saw that. And I'm like, no, Noah, he's problematic. Don't talk to him. I learned that this man is problematic only in all the ways that you could tell by just looking at him.
Oh, no.
Because I'm like, oh, shit, how is he problematic? And they're like, well, actually, I don't know any details, but I know he's like really skeevy toward women, blah, 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 and no concept of personal space. I'm like, well, no shit, dude. I knew that.
I could tell that from
He
here.
did mention his divorce to you within about 30 seconds.
He did. Yeah. He's been separated from his wife for a year. It took 2 years to put this outfit together. I'm creating a timeline based on some circumstantial evidence. I'm just saying, Dan.
What I'm hearing is if I start now, I can have my outfit together by the time Michelle leaves me.
It's very possible. It is very possible.
I'm willing to roll those dice.
Rye was shocked that the man was married, much less the divorce was not only a surprise because that means he was already married. I assumed he was gay at first, not in like a rude way, but because he had a
What
male
the fuck
friend
is that
with
supposed to mean?
I just wanted to be like, I wanted to make it clear that this weird skeezy guy that talked to me at fair, I didn't assume that he was gay because he was weird and skeezy. I assumed he was gay because he had a guy with him and they were doing everything together all day.
Yeah, like sex.
And so I'm like, oh, maybe that's his husband or boyfriend.
Yeah.
They both looked about
because
the
of the
same
sex.
age. They both looked about the same amount of disheveled. It's just one of them was wearing a kilt and pirate outfit, and the other was wearing a frumpy tunic.
Oh my god.
What would your dream medieval fair garb be? Outside of pirate kilt. You can't be pirate kilt.
Pirate Kill has already been claimed.
That's so true. I
It
don't
doesn't have to be
know.
fully Ren Fair. It can be anything.
I just want to have a really nice cowboy outfit, if we're being honest. Part of this is like
We're being
90% Red Dead posting. I'm falling back down the Red Dead hole.
I'm so
But
sorry.
also, no, I'm so happy. But like, I would love that.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever.
I don't know what my full outfit would be, but it would involve swords and a cloak because cloaks are cool.
Honestly, Dan, I already can tell you you'd fit in perfectly at the Ren Fair.
Oh, I've been to a Ren Fair. I'm aware. I almost bought a cloak last time I was there. Instead, I bought a sword. My options were I can buy a $500 cloak or I can buy a $500 sword.
You know what? And next time,
It wasn't really that
You
much.
buy the
but
next
you get
part,
the idea.
you buy the
That-
next part
I've
of that
already-
outfit,
I
and within 2
literally already
years, you're
decided,
divorced.
Yeah. I already talked about this. The take was 100% just, I mean, next time. Like, just get the next piece next time. It's fine.
And over the next 2 years, you put together your whole outfit, and Michelle's like, this can't work anymore. You're kilt pirate.
No, not kilt pirate. It always, I feel like genuinely, if you keep buying, you will always become kilt pirate.
It's just an eventuality.
It is like it's like the final. You just keep buying stuff, you will have a kilt pirate setup.
You
I
know
think
what?
for me, I would just want to be like real like janky. I only saw like one person doing it, but just like real like peasant ass fisherman.
There's nothing wrong with that, though. That's a good
I know, I feel
vibe.
like like a comically large straw hat,
Yeah.
a big old like reed in my mouth of some sort, like a nice big old piece of straw,
Yeah.
like a oversized shirt and some like dingy like burlap pants. I just feel like that with like a pole with like a stick and a piece of fishing line on it.
No, I'm so here for this for you. I think it's a great
I think
vibe.
that's a great
I think
idea.
it'd be so funny.
I
And
feel
also,
like it's dangerously close to a Luffy One Piece outfit. Or
not,
Luffy, I'm
not
sorry.
even close.
The way you're
My man
describing
wears
it, it kind of
jorts and a
is.
vest. What do you wearing like a shirt, burlap pants, and a big old hat? My man's got a fucking sash, a vest, jorts on.
Okay, I accept. That's my bad.
I mean, it is like, I think it's closer to Luffy One Piece outfit than an actual pirate outfit would be.
Valid.
So I will give you that. It is, in that regard, it's more Luffy One Piece pirate than it is like pirate, which is kind of funny to think about. Like pretending to be a medieval fisherman would actually make you look more like
a
One
pirate.
Piece pirate
Yeah.
than getting a pirate outfit.
That somehow feels correct, though.
My man, derogatory Sanji wears a suit all the time.
Yeah, we all
and
know.
I hate him.
Yeah, we all know that suits are not a good thing, as we've established.
Well, the suit's not the problem. It's that he's Sanji One Piece is transphobic, and I will die on that hill.
I see.
It's apparently up for debate, but I disagree.
I do love that. I'm glad that you have it established and canonized, though.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, all the evidence I have heard, I do agree with you.
It's like, the signs are bad. But the nice thing is, it's such an underwhelming part of the show, because when he goes through his transphobic arc, he also is just not in there for like a few hundred episodes, and it's great.
That is pretty good. That's a nice thing about One Piece, is if there's an arc you don't like, that cuts out like 7,000 episodes of watching that you have to do that you can skip and catch up with the next part.
Well, I just, like, not all characters are in all, like, sagas. Because there's always complicated, there's always things be happening.
Constantly.
Constantly happening. Noah, put the My Stars M&M on the screen. But yeah, I don't know. Sanji One Piece, I think he's transphobic. But it also is, like, sad because my man, not derogatory, Zoro, always gets memed on and called the minority hunter. Because he has to consistently fight people of color, and not on purpose, just like coincidentally. And I think that's like a bad meme. That's like mean spirited, and Sanji should get the hate.
I think I just glazed, so I like zoned out for like a solid 30 seconds.
Anyway,
I understood
Usopp
nothing.
is cool.
I understood nothing and continue to understand nothing of what we're talking about.
There's a skeleton with a guitar. The reindeer is just a nice guy.
I'm sold.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And Nami is a feminist, so that's cool. I'm like 750 episodes in.
That's a lot, fam.
It is.
I don't think I could commit to that many episodes, but also, are you actively watching them, or are they just like on in the background?
No, I'm pretty actively watching them.
Damn.
Because it's like intense and like riveting. Sometimes I'll like, pull my phone on and like scroll through TikTok while it's like things are being drawn out just because of pacing issues. But like that's pretty rare, honestly.
Wild.
It's a great story. Also, sometimes I'll just get like incredibly ripped and watch like 10 episodes and just like be like, damn, this is so cool.
That is, I feel like, the appropriate reaction, to be honest.
There's some nice fellers and people in there, and it's a fun story. And also, apparently, like the creator said that like the real One Piece starts now, basically, just a few weeks ago.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, because they're going into the final saga, and he was like, yeah. So anyway, when I started writing this like 30 years ago, my whole intention was to create the best final arc in anything ever. And that's all I ever really wanted to do. So everything up to now has just been filler. He's like, now I'm going to write the story I initially set out to write. Like, after like 30 years, he said the real One Piece starts now, which is actually insane.
That's such a power move of a statement, too.
Right?
Like, that's such a, hey, I know how invested you were this whole time.
This
was practice.
That's such an, if it's not good.
God, imagine if it's so bad. Imagine if it's, oh my God. What a gift. That, I low-key hope it's bad just out of sheer comedic value. Like, not because I want you to, like, have wasted your time on the show, whatever, but...
You would never waste your time because you're always making friends along the way. The real One Piece was the friends we made along the way. I
will say, I feel like if the real One Piece starts now, where have the friends all been along the way?
Well, I mean, it's so true, because then how would it be the friends we made along the way if it starts now?
Unless the friendship,
the real One Piece was the friends we made in the last couple minutes.
The last while.
it's crazy to think that like genuinely like no one really knows like what like the One Piece is.
It's just called One Piece.
Well, no, that's the thing is like it. Initially, you're like he's like yeah, it's all my fucking treasure, and you're like so cool, gonna be like a lot of money or whatever, and it makes you a king of the pirates, and then it just becomes more and more nebulous as the series goes on and talks about like basically like governmental conspiracy theories that that span centuries and are just like in batshit crazy, and you're like, what are they gonna find on this island? What could you make it that makes it worth 30 years of waiting? And if it's the friends we made along the way, good. I hope it is.
I don't know. I do like the friends we made along the way as a not only as a trope but also as like something that actually is an almost interesting or almost meaningful like story beat.
Yeah, I think it can be done right. And obviously, if they literally were to be like, remember guys, the real One Ring was the friends we made along the way. Like, okay, that's too on the nose, but like genuinely when that's the final story beat, I'm usually not mad.
Yeah. I think as long as they don't just be like, as long as they're not literally like, maybe like there's nothing there and it's just friendship that matters. Like, I think there's a much better way to phrase that of
Yeah, I
like,
agree.
because my God, the
I mean,
idea.
I've watched Kung Fu Panda though, and like that's exactly what they do.
That is pretty much what they do, yeah.
It's literally the
is.
friends we made along the way. The real Dragon Warrior was whatever. Just do you.
Yeah, the real Dragon
It's so
Warrior was
dumb.
inside you the whole time. As a kid, I remember the there is no secret ingredient being the most mind blowing shit.
Kung Fu Panda is not that bad.
No, they're honestly really good. I'm gonna say it. I think they're all
Look.
extremely like solid. Not amazing, but like solid.
I hate that this is the perfect transition to like the next thing I wanted to talk about.
Go off, King.
The bad thing?
But maybe there's a storm a growing.
There is. That's actually why I closed my window. That and cars.
Yeah. Anyway, I went. Mari and I went to IHOP tonight and got the entire like Despicable Me Minions menu.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I got Gru's Evil Steak Burger.
Oh my god. Is it good?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's probably the best IHOP burger right now. It's got mac and cheese on it. I think cheddar jack, and then also grilled. It's also got bacon, and then grilled serrano peppers and onions and jalapenos.
It sounds amazing, and I'm so angry.
It was good. I ate Gru's Evil Steak Burger, and I was like, I'm satisfied and happy enough with this. And then we split everything, but we also got the banana pancakes.
Oh my god.
Because minions
Yeah.
love banana.
Yeah.
Also there was like this old guy with like his grandkids behind us, and he was like, "Banana, that's what the minions say." And I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna snap." Like I don't think I can do this.
I shouldn't have to put up with this.
And yeah, no, the minion pancakes. There was like this shitty banana pudding on top that sucked, but the pancakes themselves had like bananas baked into them, and they were really good.
I do
And
love that.
that's pretty much the whole minion menu, except for like what looked to be just like the Taco Bell Cineminis.
Fair enough.
Oh, they also got a cold Gru iced coffee.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, again, a very normal beverage.
Nice cold Gru.
Cold Gru, yeah.
Thanks. I hate it.
So I did watch Despicable Me 2 recently.
Oh yeah.
Because I'd never seen it before. I've seen the first one. I saw it like way back. I think one of those like days in high school when like it's like right before Christmas and the teacher just puts on a movie. Because even though you're all like 17, you still don't really want to like just pretend you're interested in whatever's happening. So you just want to like watch Despicable Me or whatever's school appropriate. But yeah, I remember liking the first one well enough, and then I watched the second recently with my niece, and I was like, you know what, this is actually like completely fine, if not like borderline good.
Yeah, no, I think that the Despicable Me movies get a bad rap because of Facebook bombs.
Yeah.
Like truly.
I think they're actually pretty good. I like Gru. I think he's fun.
The first one especially is like honestly really, really, really good.
Also, once I'm bald, I'm just going to be Gru for Halloween every year.
As you should be.
Yeah, no, that's the
And,
correct choice.
Yeah, I watched the second one and I came out of it being like, man, this was like good. And I honestly, I didn't mind, slash, I even liked the Minions.
The as a group, as a the movie The
As
Minions.
No, I didn't. Not the movie, but like in the movie Despicable Me, when the minions are on screen doing like little minion things,
Yeah,
was like, I like these guys.
yeah. No, they're just little guys.
Yeah, they're just like fine. And then when they sang "I Swear" at the end,
No, see,
it sucks. It's dumb, but like just hearing like the little minions and like their little like outfits being as dramatic as possible, and they really like they put their whole heart into everything they do, and I respect that about them. They're on that hustle.
that like I said, I think that truly like they're not bad movies by any stretch. I think that just a shitload of Facebook moms have ruined it for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I think that the minions are nice. I think that I would even like them if they were around me. Like in real life, if there were minions doing like little minion things, I'd be like, those crazy guys.
Look at them minions. They're minioning.
And I mean this.
I've talked. I think I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast before. My personal, and it is gone around as a meme before, but I do like it 100% is also like intentional. The whole oh yeah, the minions they always work for whoever the most evil person at the time is or whatever,
Yeah, no, that was the. Why did they put that into the lore?
because they were dumb and didn't think of the broader implications, and then they did and realized, oh shit, we gotta freeze them in Antarctica for like 100 years for really really important reasons.
We have to keep them away from modern history.
Yeah, we cannot allow them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do love that little detail
Like-
so much.
It's just funny that they're like, oh, they're with like Vlad the Impaler. Actually, I think it was literally Dracula in the Minion movie.
I think that sounds right, and that's also very
I think
funny.
Dracula was real, and they hung out with him and then killed him. I think there is directly a scene within the Minions movie in which the Minions murder Dracula with sunlight.
That's
Amazing.
a gift, honestly.
In the world of Despicable Me, Dracula not only existed, but was killed by the Minions.
By accident.
Banana, and they just fucking murdered him.
I love the fact that the official lore is they work for the most evil person in existence at the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
But then like obviously modern history is one of those like, oh yikes. But like in the world of a children's movie where it's like get at the Gru, he's terrible, he's evil. He's not even the most evil guy in the movie.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Like maybe evil to the HOA, but like
That's the next Minions movie, is that he's not evil enough, and so they have to go work for someone else.
No thanks.
Well, listen, money.
Dan, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
But hear me out. Gru with guacamole sombrero.
Oh, I love
Again.
that part. And he's like having a really like rough time, like existentially, and people are just eating his guacamole sombrero.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I forgot that existed until this exact instant, and you know what? You're right. Nothing will ever come close to guacamole sombrero.
So I think that the Minions movie, I looked at the plot a little bit here, and apparently they serve the most evil humans or the most evil masters, but they just kill them every time.
That's the real Despicable Me.
Like they crushed the pharaoh at the pyramids. They killed T-Rexes. They killed Dracula, and they're the reason Napoleon lost.
Somehow Napoleon being on that list is so funny to me. Because
They're the reason he lost.
like it really is just like silly thing, actual like historical figure that did actually matter. Like I don't know. I think that's somehow Napoleon being on the list is just extraordinarily funny.
The director also is the voice of the Minions.
That is true. That I did know.
I like that.
He's one
You
of the
know what?
voices.
If
There
you're
are a
gonna
couple
make
of
one
them.
of those movies, then it just makes sense.
I believe he was the voice for the first 2 or 3, and then in Minions specifically, I think it shifted, so there were more than one. There are like more than one person doing the voice, but he does the majority of them. Yeah, it's like what's his name doing the voice for Edna. Fucking what is the name of that? What is the name of the director for Incredibles?
Oh, Albert Einstein.
Damn, got him. Brad Bird. It's like Brad Bird doing Edna's voice. It's just funny.
Yeah, it gives
Edna
them like you
mode.
can't really cameo as an animated movie director as
Yeah.
easily.
No, not at all.
And but yeah, that's what I've been up to lately. Being a big old minion head.
You know what? I won't lie to you. I didn't see this part of the lore coming. This one was a shock to me.
Yeah, I think like I just don't hate the minions, and like I think it's funny enough to try and be like their
Their
spokesperson
advocate.
that it's just worth a go.
Yeah, no, I get that. You know what?
It's neither ironic nor unironic. It's instead exists in a strange state in between both.
Yeah.
Where on a level I genuinely enjoy them, but also on a level I think it's really funny to be an advocate for the minions.
No, I agree 100%. I get that. Like, it's not that I don't believe the things I'm saying. It's just, I'm telling you about it because it's funny.
It's a good bit. It's a good little arc.
I like this arc. This is an unexpected arc for this season. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think like I've been thinking about this lately. I feel like over the last specifically like year, but maybe 2-3 years even, it's been slow. I've like transitioned from being like a nerdy person that like does some not nerdy things to being a not nerdy person that does some that like surprisingly knows about nerdy things. I feel like I went from being like nerdy and then I surprisingly knew about like not nerdy things and now it's inverted.
No, I get that. I get that. Because you went from being the anime guy who also had political opinions that were more nuanced than, haha, bad things are bad, am I right? To now you're like, yeah, anyway, so the ramifications of this blah, 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 blah. By the way, did you see Dominions movie?
Yeah, precisely.
I get it.
I feel like I feel like that's part of like maturing and becoming an adult on some level is that slight transition from the I guess the digital or just like the I don't know how to put it, like the hobby and into like the like I don't know.
I get it. I get
Out
it.
of the
It's a
hobby
strange.
and
I don't
into
know
the
how to word
lobby.
it. Yeah, I don't know how to word it without sounding like the alternative is bad, but it's not. Like the opposite's
Without
not bad
saying
at
out
all.
of the hobby and into the lobby.
Yeah, out of the hobby into the fire. I feel like that's part of like growing up, but not to say that that's the only way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a part. The way I experienced it, it's good for me, but I'm sure everyone has a different way.
Yeah.
Because like it's not bad to be like really nerdy and then also know about other things.
No, not at all.
I think there is definitely a line where like you've got to have some care for your fellow man and the people around you.
Of course.
Like you know the type. I'm sure we've all interacted with
we
them, the
all
people
know.
who are like
Oh yeah.
fully pirate kill guy. It's like this is your whole thing. This is your only thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are people around you who like are going through things that they need you there for.
Yeah.
You gotta do more than argue about, I don't know, the stitching of a kilt online every day for your entire life. You can do it twice a week, don't get me wrong.
Oh, without a doubt.
But you gotta have more than one thing. You gotta have a couple things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've made that shift yet. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I want
Yeah, you
to.
don't have to. Like there's nothing that makes you have to.
Curious. Now I'm thinking about like I don't know. It's an interesting take. I don't know that I fully maybe I just don't like fully sign on to there being a separation necessarily.
Well, it's not that there's even a separation. It's just that there is like knowing about like Sanji One Piece and then like keeping bees and like changing breaks. I just feel like there doesn't have to be a hard line, but there's a difference.
I don't know. I don't know that I get where you're coming from. I just don't know if I totally agree that I think the difference is all like self-assigned. Like you decide
Yeah, exactly.
you decide there's a difference, which I think is extremely valid. But I don't necessarily think there's like an inherent like this is different because it is different. It's different because like you think it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's just also for me a transition more towards like real world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of
Mhm.
course.
And like that's like where the biggest line kind of like the soft line kind of falls.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you gotta like what matters to you, what changes your daily life. And everyone's answer is different. But yeah, I just feel like I've become less and less of an online person in general, and as a result, that also is like a switch that follows.
I think that's super fair. I think that might be the bigger, like, I think that to me is like the more interesting transition, because it's something that I feel like it's not that common for somebody to like like, yeah, there's a certain amount of like migrating off the internet as you get older, but like, I don't know. I don't think it's that common.
I think the thing is, if it was or wasn't, it's hard to keep track because if you're on the internet as a way of like communicating with these people, you kind of it's easier to lose track of or like minimize the impact you have on them and with them as they go offline more, and like you kind of not forget but kind of forget a little.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of, and that's a lot of like just changing your environment changes your friend group, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know how much Noah and I have talked about it on air, but like I think Noah is literally the only person I talked to from Erie besides like like let me say that the only person I went to like high school with, air quotes high school with, that I talk to from Erie anymore, because of that kind of almost exact thing, is distance, and then realizing, hey, wait, maybe I actually wasn't that close with them in the first place, or maybe I was, and it still drifted apart. Like, not to minimize like
Yeah,
friendships and
like it's
relationships.
okay to like there are people that like I genuinely love and would be like thrilled to see again that I never speak to and probably won't. And that's part of just being separate people in separate places.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just happens sometimes.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. It's a sad thing, especially because it's one of those things you realize all at once, even though it happens little by little.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And that realization is like really sad and hard sometimes, but it's it's part of life, and it's part of growing up. Honestly, is what this all is. Like it's just part of growing up, which is weird, but it's old people shit to talk about. But I guess like on some things, yeah, I guess I've been there. I suppose
yeah.
I get what the old people were saying all along. Sometimes I don't.
Yeah, sometimes the old people actually are just crazy, but
But I mean, that does raise an interesting question, though, of like, will younger generations is becoming offline as you age actually even a thing? I think it kind of still is more than people realize, more than young people realize, especially.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that because I think it also comes in waves, right? Because there's some times where I just want to like lean a lot further into like not being online, but doing things online, because I don't want to
Yeah.
be online more. But I would love to do like video essays. I think that would be fun. The hard part, of course, is writing a video essay. But I think that would be I think I would enjoy that. But the idea of being online more than I am already is like frightening to me. Not because I'm online like well, to me, an excessive amount, but because I don't want to commit more of my time, because I want to do like other stuff now too. You know, I'm
Yeah.
in a place of my life where I can go do other things. I can go out and like, and the weather's nice. You know, during the winter, I definitely flip flop the other direction, because what am
Oh,
I going
for
to do
sure.
outside? You know. Same with like gaming. Like I definitely play a lot more in the winter than I do in the summertime. Like I haven't been inclined to play as much stuff recently. I mean, I don't think I've streamed consistently in fucking ages. You know, like it's all kinds of stuff happens like that, but I don't know. I definitely feel like part of maturing is just like changing how you think about stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that has already been said. I'm not breaking new ground. Oh my God, Noah, wisest man in the world. But I
This
mean it in
guy's
the
on
sense
to
that like I get
Can't believe
where
you
you're
can't be
coming
up
from of the switching away from different things. I agree, Dan. I suppose like the idea is mostly like lines in your head that you've drawn, right? But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it makes them less real.
No, I agree. I absolutely do not think in any way it makes it less real. Like, not even a
This
little
guy
bit.
thinks it makes them less real.
Dan thinks it
I
makes
just,
it less real.
I just I like my like I immediately feel myself getting defensive at the implication that being more mature means you're online less. Because I don't think that's necessarily the case, and I think that does come down to like who you are and the people you hang out with, right? Like,
I know, but that's why I said that like pretty. I try to be pretty clear about saying that before I said anything else.
yeah, no, I am kind of iterating. Sorry, I'm like I'm iterating on what was already said. I think that like it definitely is a matter of like I definitely spend less time gaming now than I ever have in my life. That's not even a question. Um, and I've had talks with a couple of people, like specifically regarding gaming, because I think that to me is like the most divisive, maybe would be the right word, at least in among my friend groups, is like the idea of like, yeah, you're older now, like nobody else plays games anymore. Not nobody, but significantly fewer people that I interact with on the day to day game, air quotes, like they used to. And there's all sorts of means of like, oh, when the boys are online, like kind of things, right? That are like distinctly geared more towards like people over the age of like 25.
I think a lot of it tends to happen by necessity because
Yeah.
jobs force you out of these circles that you were able to be in when you were younger.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah, I mean, jobs, like, I mean, honestly, like, marriage
that's
for many people and, you know, relationships for many people are also a factor in those things.
yeah. And I was talking to this is exactly what Michelle and I were talking about, is that even in like college, Michelle and I were still together, but we weren't living together, and so even then, spending 12 hours a day gaming might not be just I'm spending 12 hours a day just gaming. I'm spending 12 hours a day gaming and doing homework, and then also spending time with my then girlfriend, right? And now
Yeah.
that we're like, there's a huge amount of like, once you're in a relationship that, or in person in a relationship, that dynamic necessarily switches, or almost necessarily switches rather.
I know, and that's like the other thing. I'm having like in 3-4 days the opposite problem where my relationship is going from in person to not in person.
Oof, I'm so sorry.
That's fine. For like a year, so it's like, man, that again, that dynamic is like forced to change.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. It's a conversation that I think that like I don't know. I don't know that like I don't know how I feel about it. Right? Like I'm very much like, again, my immediate gut reaction is to be defensive with the idea that like being online less means you're less or means you haven't matured as much, or you aren't as mature, or that kind of thing. But I also think that there is like an aspect of, because people who can spend, maybe that's the way to say it, people who can spend 12 plus hours a day online or whatever, arbitrary number, it may just be they don't have like the similar obligations as, like, for example, the three of us.
Yeah, they probably haven't like, or they also probably haven't like watched Dune.
Yeah, that's
and
real.
thought about it.
They probably like never really appreciated like film as an art form.
So true. They probably don't even get it. Like, if you showed them your favorite movie, they wouldn't get it.
Yeah. I bet.
So you,
But they've never even seen the pinnacle of filmmaking that is Fight Club.
oh, they probably never even seen The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Damn. You know what? I bet they haven't.
I also know I'm old because I have arthritis, like, and it's getting worse.
Oh, same, fam.
Oh no!
It's just like, dude, that sucks. That should be like a 50-year-old problem, right?
Yeah,
I would think so.
It's apparently pretty common in like this generation.
Yeah, it runs in my family super bad. My mom had it when she was like 18.
Yikes.
Yeah, my sister did too. Like in high school, she started having arthritis. I didn't really until probably like 23.
Yeah,
But
it's not like insanely bad yet or anything, but it definitely is like starting to affect my day to day. Getting the like little arthritis gloves and whatnot.
oh yeah, I got one on right now.
Nice. Little compression gauntlets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got to work, I think, but also there's like not that much hard science like backing them as like effective.
Yeah, it definitely does feel a little bit like
It's a little like, depending on the glove and depending on your type of arthritis and your condition, it can work really well.
Yeah.
But like, it's not like across the board guarantee. But I don't want to find out more, because what if I find out it doesn't work for me and I'm just lying to myself a little bit?
Yeah.
Because right
Then it
now
won't work.
you think they work at least
Right
a little.
now I think it works. At least a little.
I definitely don't know how much mine works. It definitely feels like it doesn't hurt as bad when I wear them. So that's enough for me.
I feel like the copper gloves, the ones that have copper threading in them, I feel like those are the scammiest ones of all, right? Because I have those, and in my mind they work a little bit, but like, do they work because they work, or do they work because they have compression? And compression just kind of works in general.
Yeah, that's the thing. The one I have it's something that's like uses like thermo infrared reflecting. I'm like, you could just say heat retention.
Yeah.
To make it keeps my hand warm. because it's like a little glove. Like that's what gloves do. All right, we should stop talking about being old people. Probably
We
wrap
should.
this one up.
No, we definitely should wrap this one up. I don't know. Do we have anything to close with today, or is we got to close on something happier than
We've
hey,
all
we're
got
getting
arthritis.
older.
No, I mean, I feel like I'm happy with who I am, and I feel like I'm happy with who I'll be, regardless of who knows. Maybe I'll become like an insane gamer, and now that I've said this, when Mari goes to Taiwan this week, I'll just become like an absolute like
Gamer lord.
gremlin.
Yeah, and
Unlikely. But I mean, having a partner live 12 hours time difference is
that's
like
rough.
that's ripe for a gremlin sleep schedule.
That is perfect for gremlin sleep schedule.
I
And you
know,
work at a
it's
coffee
scary.
shop, which is also ripe for
know.
gremlin sleep schedule.
It's scary.
I do just want to
There's
like
real gremlin potential.
I want to just tack like one last thing on that, and then also and then like be good to be like feel better about wrapping up. I definitely feel like we got like kind of like old man yells at cloud pretentious there for a hot minute. If you can spend 12 hours a day gaming, fucking good for you. Like if that's your thing, go fucking live your
At
life.
that point, that's your
remember-
job.
Like
Yeah, but then your job goes hard.
yeah, your job goes
Yeah.
hard as hell.
No,
like,
I didn't. I don't
or-
mean that in a bad way. I mean like that's just your job at that point. Make
Yeah.
it work.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah,
Like,
or you don't actually like have a job and you're like 17 and it's summer.
and also good for you. Like you're like
Yeah,
we're not better. We're not
precisely.
better than you for it. Like just to be clear, like I don't want to make it sound like we're like
yeah.
we are all grown up now. You see, and we don't have
See,
time for
that's the
these
problem with
children
talking
games.
about. It's always hard talking about being happy with where you're at
Yeah,
because there's always like the implication, and it's never true, but like there's always the implication that you weren't happy when
exactly.
you weren't here.
Exactly.
It's like no, when I was in like out of high school and like working at like the overnight shift and stuff, and I would just be like gaming all the time and like sure on some levels I was a little more lonely and I didn't feel as fulfilled in some things, but also like not all the time, and there were plenty of years that went by that I had like a great time living like that.
Yeah. It is entirely
But,
an alternate. Like it's just different. It's just different like phase or stage in your life. Not in a better, not worse, just different.
But really some like sunlight does wonders.
Disagree. Although I do like how warm sunlight makes me. I do not like being cold.
Then it does wonders.
So I was gonna say it sounds
I can
like
get the
wonders
same
to
effect.
me.
I can quite literally get the same effect by leaving the heat on.
Well, what's bad about it though? It doesn't do wonders.
It is bright and it hurts my eyes.
Once you get used to it, it's not, and also sunglasses.
I think the sun specifically is out to get me, is what I'm trying to
Are
say.
you looking at it?
Oh, you know what? I have been looking at it.
You gotta stop doing
dang
that.
it. I knew there was something wrong.
You can't. Yeah, you gotta like look around it and like below it for sure.
Just kind of look in the general vicinity, like do little circles with your eyes, so never look directly at it.
But yeah, I don't know. I just definitely don't have any contempt for who I was before. But like I just am remarking because again, it's one of those things that it happens like losing friends,
Mhm.
like little by little, and then all at once.
Yeah, little by little, and then
And you don't notice it until the all at once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will say on being happy where we are. I feel like I'm pretty happy where I am. The only regret I have is I just don't have as much time in my day that I want. Like I just want more hours. Like I
Yeah.
just want more fucking
Oh,
time.
same.
I know that's like literally the most common complaint, and everyone wants that, of course. Like I get that I'm not unique or anything, but my God, I would give a lot to just get an extra hour out of my day. Like literally just one extra hour.
Yeah.
And it sucks that
I mean that's the like the rich man's greatest fear.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's
No matter who you are, there's never enough time.
there's time
But-
now.
It's what the one guy, Jim, my friend Jim, was trying to keep it in a bottle.
Oh man. I have that record. I have that like on vinyl.
Oh yeah,
That's a
I'm
fucking
a
rad.
huge Jim Croce.
I think it's Croach. I've always pronounced it Croach.
I always thought it was Croce, but that's just how my dad said it.
Fair enough.
But like we used to have that album. We'd listen to that and like his just like best hits album.
Yep.
On the like road trips when I was a little kid.
Aw, that's rad. I only know that song. I know I've heard some other of his
Didn't you
music.
just say you had the album?
Yeah, I don't. Okay, I only know that song. Like I know.
Okay, I was like,
I've heard plenty. I've heard plenty of Jim Croce over the years, but that's the only one I'm like, yeah, that song.
I mean,
one of my favorites.
He had the one song in the Django Unchained.
You know what? Django Unchained, one of those movies that I missed. Didn't get to see it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. I just know a song was in it. I figured you had seen it.
That was a fair guess, to be honest.
All right, let's actually wrap this.
Yeah, get us out of here.
Thanks for listening this week, everybody. We will see you next time.
In a bottle.
Yeah.